Good evening. I'm back with you again this evening. This evening I will be trying Crown Royal Northern Harvest Rye. It's a 90% rye whiskey. I had purchased it on sale for $16.99 back in October. So I've had it about 6 months. And I've drank about 3/4 of the bottle. Maybe a little bit more. And it's been a struggle. I like a rye whiskey. This one is not in my wheelhouse. That being said, it gets a lot of good reviews. Was picked as Whiskey of the Year. I do know that. And I know Bart from Scotch Test Dummies, he really likes it. So I decided to give it a spin when I found it on sale. And glad I did, because it has still broadened my palate a little bit. It teaches me what I like, what I don't like. And that's what this whole entire journey is about for me. I mean, for years I was a one bourbon guy. I would drink what somebody offered me, but most of the time, Wild Turkey 101. If you can get a bourbon, you want a good bourbon that's not some high-priced bourbon. It's solid bourbon flavor, solid bourbon taste, Wild Turkey 101. And I never veered from it. 20 years. That's all I ever got. If I was going to get a bourbon, I'd get Wild Turkey 101. Friends of mine might drink Jim Beam or whatever else. But if it was my money spending, it was Wild Turkey 101 for bourbons. And that's just all there was to it. It just fit my wheelhouse. And that comes from years of drinking. I mean, I have bought an occasional Pendleton the last few years prior to starting to venture out more. But outside of that, it's always been Wild Turkey 101. So I'm very consistent. But in the last year and a half since I've started branching out with scotches, I decided to start trying more. And I started drinking more rye. Ryes take me back to my dad in the 70s, late 60s through the 70s, even into the early 80s. At Christmas time, all the guys would go together and they'd always buy him a bottle. He'd always buy him a bottle of Jim Beam, Beam's Choice. He'd open it, drink a little bit of it, and I'd go along, sneak along behind him and have a little sip now and then. And you could really taste the rye. That's the triggered memory, is the rye in the background on that Jim Beam. And when I tasted it, my first rye that I've had that's pure rye, that's the memory it took me right back to. Anyway, that being said, we'll get on with the tasting here. And I'm not going to use my Glencairn glass for this. I just don't need to. There's no reason to. All right. Get the light rye bread. Vanilla. I get plenty of vanilla on top of it. I get a little thyme, and that's one thing that I've developed too. Is I spend a lot of time on our spice cabinet going over our spices, and when I drink alcohol, especially rye, it helps a lot. We have a wide variety of spices. I go through them all, smell a little bit of coffee in between to neutralize my palate, bring it back down to normal. And I probably do that now about once every 2 weeks just to bring myself back around to what I think I'm smelling. What does it bring me back to? Light rye bed, vanilla, thyme. Let me look at my sheet here. And this is from when I first got it and tasted it. And after about 2 weeks, I go ahead and I do a little write-up, mock-up on my sheet. Back then, white pepper, which I still get the white pepper. I don't know how I could not miss that. and a slight amount of citrus in the background. I noted that before, but it's not really any anything I can put my finger on. And it has a slight floral background, but it's a spicy floral background, almost like cardamom. And cardamom is the closest one I could come to. But if you smell cardamom, it has a certain floral odor to it. And that is what I get with this. Now we'll go on to the taste. Again, light red vanilla, a bit of orange. Now I get the citrus. The citrus would be orange. White pepper again, thyme again. The floral note's gone. It's fairly quick. Leaves like it started. It is a little bit spirit driven. Slightly so though. It's not like others. Astringent, a little bitter on the finish. That about sums it up for this. Not a fan. Not a fan at all. I give it a 70 out of 100. It's just not my wheelhouse. I'm not going to say it's bad. I know that people like it, and it's, for lack of a better word, it's well-made stuff. It's just, again, not my wheelhouse. It's not something that I really prefer. So we will put, and this will go in the other category because it is not a bourbon or a scotch. We'll put it over here. 70 is going to be about the middle part, right in here. 70. As it goes 80 to 60, yeah. So 70 is going to be right in here. Crown Royal. I'm just going to Northern Harvest Rye. I'll show you guys up front close so you can see. It's right in this one. It's right. Should be middle part of that. I don't know if you guys can see that or not on my sheet. Would I purchase it again? No, I won't purchase this again. This is what I do with it. Ice. Add a little bit more because we've kind of killed too much of it. Bring it a little bit back around. There we go. Now we got something we can drink this evening. It helps it a lot. I'm not a cola man. I don't like cola in my bourbons. I don't like cola in my ryes. No. It comes from a kid when I used to drink 7 and 7, 7 cola. I don't particularly like Canadian whiskeys. I don't like Crown Royal. Period. The best thing about a Crown Royal is the purple bags. You will never catch me drinking a Crown Royal. I bought this because it was different enough I wanted to try it. But Crown Royal just has a certain smell. And once you smell it, it's different than the other Canadian whiskeys. You can crack a bottle of regular Crown Royal purple bag. If I'm downwind from it, I can smell it. And it does not appeal to me at all. I've never really cared for it. I guess maybe when I was younger, because they were cheap, I drank too much of the Canadian whiskeys, and I mixed them here and I mixed them there. And by the time I got to bourbon, as far as ryes go, let's get back to ryes. As far as ryes go, these are 2 other bottles here. You guys need to see. There's Alberta Rye, dark batch, and I bought it at the liquor stores at 45% by volume as well. And then the old trusty good standby, George Dickel Rye. George Dickel Rye is sourced from someplace else. I will buy another bottle of this and I will do a review on it. Love this stuff. Love this stuff. It hits my wheelhouse. And it's not very expensive. This here I tried, and it has a wine finish to it. I forget what they did. touch of sherry deforged rye with a unique dark color. This stuff here, make your Manhattans with, get rid of it. This, again, for rye is not, another rye I will never buy again. I have a Rittenhouse, I haven't opened yet, and I will get to that. And when I do, I will be reviewing that as well. That's sitting in the cabinet right now. It's the only rye bottle I got left that's full. So I do need to get me another Dickel and go from there. Anyway, again, Canadian Harvest, Crown Royal. If you like it, go for it. It's generally fairly inexpensive. I've seen prices on this anywhere from where I purchased at $16.99 to some other liquor stores that ungodly $30 on the bottle. And I don't understand why they price or where they get their pricing from here in Kansas, but it just makes me go, okay. But maybe it's a consumer demand in that area. It's in high demand and they really like it, so they can charge that amount for it. But if you go to a more metropolitan area like Wichita, you can generally find it for around $20. Anyway, that's it. I hope you all had a good evening, and I hope you enjoyed this review. And my name's Robert, and I'll be signing off. And everybody, have a good night. Bye.